Alrighty, welcome back to another Vaicom tutorial. We're going to look at something a little bit more advanced today, JTAC flow. So it's interacting with the AI JTAC in DCS using your voice and Vaicom. Now, this is probably one of the more immersive things you can do with Vaicom, and it is really good fun once you work out how to do it. But it's not easy because you need to have the commands you're going to say ready, either on your kneeboard in VR or in your mind, and you need to understand the flows and the limitations. So I thought first we'd start off by having just to talk about DCS JTAC, and there's three types of engagement. There's a type 1, type 2 and type 3. Type 1, basically the JTAC will have the aircraft and the target in sight, and you'll generally get this during the day when the JTAC can see aircraft. Type 2, which is generally at night, and it's when they either have the aircraft in sight or the target in sight. And then there's type 3, where they're not anywhere near the target, but they will give you the target location and you are cleared to prosecute yourselves. Now the limitations here are type 1, with aircraft and target in sight. They'll give you an attack heading, and you have to maneuver the aircraft, set up for your IP to position yourself to make your attack from that direction and onto that heading. If you don't do that, you'll get the abort call from the JTAC when he realizes you're running in the wrong way, and you'll have to reposition again. Type 2, you're not going to get an attack heading. You're going to get report IP, and then you're going to be cleared hot on the target, and you can make your own way in and pick up your egress setting. Type 3, you'll just be cleared to engage, and you set up for your attack, and you can make your own way in, and he'll give you BDA. So that's the basic flow, how it's going to work. Orientation on the target is pretty key to this whole thing. So I thought we'd have a quick look at the targets we're looking at today and just have a general orientation of what it looks like. So we'll be operating the Vaicom server over Tinian, and we're using the north field as the target area. We have JTAC down there, which is a striker. Now remember, if you're building your missions, your striker needs to be anti-tank guided weapons striker, because that way you've got all the good things like laser designation, IR pointers, and it's got a bit more range to reach out and mark your target. So they're set up there. We're going to be operating pretty much close to north field as we fly in over the top, and we'll start our engagement. Now with the type 1, it's going to be daylight. They're going to mark with white phosphorus and give us a talk on from the white phosphorus. But they're going to give us an attack heading, and in this case, the attack heading is going to be between 210 and 340. So I'll set up for an IP on something recognizable, which is down the south end of the island, and I'll make my attack in from the south, southeast, and will egress to the north. Now I could make that attack anywhere from in the east and come straight across to the west and egress to north. I'd still be compliant with that type 1. Now the type 2, I'll still make roughly the same attack heading, but we won't have the criteria. So when we get into looking at type 2 at night, we'll start off with a laser designation and using the laser spot track to get the pod onto target. And then we'll also have a look at the IR pointer and visually steering us on the target. Now the IR pointer is good. If you can get your pod stabilized somewhere near there, you'll be able to find the target, and that's what I do in this case, but it would work equally as well with dropping unguided weapons at night using your NVGs. Anyway, let's jump in the jet and have a look how it all works. Right, here we are in the cockpit of the Hornet, and just over Tinian at the moment, and we are going to have a look at actually using what we just spoke about with JTAC and the commands. So the flow has to be in order, otherwise it just doesn't work. So let's have a look at using it. The first thing we need to do is tune up the JTAC, so I'm just going to use the instant select feature of Vaicom to tune him up. His call sign is pinpoint select. So 134.0, and he is tuned, and let's give him a call. Pinpoint, playtime 30 minutes.
Uzi 2, this is pinpoint 1-1, type point in effect, advised and ready for 9 line.
Okay, so type 1, so they must be nice and close, so let's give him a call. We are ready to copy. Ready to copy.
Line is as follows: 1, 2, 3, NA, 100 feet, MSL. Column of ground units: Charlie, Sierra, 5, 4, 9, 0, 6, 7, 3, 5. Marked by Willie Pete, 0, southwest, 10,000, egress, north. Advised when ready for remarks and further talk on.
Okay, so we'll get the further remarks. Say remarks.
Use Mark 82 Snake Eye. Final attack heading 2103440. Wind 270 at 3 meters per second.
Okay, and you tell him we'll read back the line now, the 9 line, so reading back.
Read back correct. Report IP inbound.
Okay, so report IP inbound. So basically the attack is going to be anywhere from out here on the east, across the field, and we're going to egress north. So he gave us a pretty wide arc to make our attack run. So we're going to come around to the south, coming from the east, and then we'll call him IP inbound. So we just make sure our weapons are configured. I want to drop to Mark 82 Snake Eyes on this pass, and the rest of them should be configured because I did it before we got airborne. And in that 9 line, if we look at the kneeboard now, pinpoint page, you can see there's the 9 line type 1, so 1, 2, 3 NA, so no details in there, and there's our elevation, the target, and the coordinates. Now we can punch those coordinates in and we can do it, but I've already done it in waypoint 1, so they're in there, and I'll waypoint designate that target to give us a bit of a reference. And there's the Snake Eyes, and there we're in 210340. So that's our attack heading. Alright. Get rid of that kneeboard. Now, as you can see, it's gone straight into auto. I want to get out of that, so I'm going to I want to use CCIP for this run, because I want to target visually off his smoke that he's going to pop for us. So let's tell him we're IP inbound on the south end of the island here. IP inbound.
Uzi 2, continue. Mark is on a deck.
Right, if you have a look up there, you can see it's just popped smoke, and I need to tell him I can see that, and he'll give us some talk on tally smoke.
From the mark, northeast, 210 meters.
Okay, so 210 meters to the northeast, so it's going to be, we're heading northeast, so it's basically up near the end of that runway. So we'll start our run in from the east here, and that should fit in with the attack heading we were given. So in from the south. In from the south.
Uzi 2, cleared hot.
Okay, we're cleared hot. Master arm is coming on. We are ready to go, and we're looking for targets in that, basically where the flight path marker is
altitude.
there.
Altitude.
And I can see them just on the edge of that runway. Flares are coming out. There they are. Weapons off.
Uzi 2, target destroyed. Uzi 2, this is pinpoint 1-1. Sight point in effect. Advise and ready for 9 line.
Okay, so he's got another target for us now. We destroyed that target. Master arms coming up to the north, and we'll reposition for our next attack. But there's the use of Willy Pete for JTAC targeting. What we'll have a look at is we'll switch to night now and have a look at using the laser designator with some guided weapons and the IR pointer. So let's do that now. Okay, here we are, nighttime now, and we're over the same target area, and we're going to check in with pinpoint again. Pinpoint select. So I've auto-tuned the pinpoint freaks to see using the select command, and then we will give him a call. Pinpoint, playtime 30 minutes.
Uzi 3, this is pinpoint 1-1. Type 2 in effect. Advise and ready for 9 line.
Ready to copy.
Line is as follows: 1, 2, 3, NA, 100 feet, MSL. Column of ground units: Charlie, Sierra, 5, 4, 9, 0, 6, 7, 3, 5. Marked by laser, 1688. West, 600 meters. Troops in contact. Egress, north. Advise when ready for remarks and further talk on.
Okay, so there's a basic 9 line, and that will be once again recorded to our kneeboard. And let's tell him we're ready for remarks. Say remarks. Say remarks.
Use GBU 38. Wind 270 at 3 meters per second.
Okay, tell him we're reading that back now. Reading back.
Read back correct. Report IP inbound.
Okay, so that's our next call, IP inbound. Let's set up for the attack. So J82's target of opportunity, put them on instant, bring the JDAM display up. No target designated yet, and we have our targeting port up in IR. Okay. Position for our attack, and those coordinates which are in our kneeboard. So let's have a look. Kneeboard. Axeman page. Okay, so there's the 9 line there. So 1, 2, 3 NA, and then there's all the details. So those coordinates, in interest of brevity, I've added them in as steer point 1. So bring the pod to look at the target. Let's do that now. So I'll select waypoint 1 and waypoint designate that target. And pod's looking that way now. And we'll start our turn in and see if we can get the pod onto the target, and we'll tell him we're IP inbound. IP inbound.
Uzi 3, continue.
Okay, let's ask for the laser on now. Laser on.
Laser on. Blazing.
Okay, let's go laser search now. And there we go, we've got a target. And I'm going to designate that just by hitting the weapon designate button. And we'll tell him we're in from the south.
Uzi 3, cleared hot.
Okay, we are cleared hot, and we have got parameters. Master arms coming on, and We're in the zone. Weapon release. And we're coming off to the north. See the target down there. Pod, a couple of vehicles, troops.
Uzi 3, target destroyed.
And a good hit.
Uzi 3, this is pinpoint 1-1. Tag 2 in effect. Advised and ready for 9-line.
Okay, so he's got another target for us. That target's destroyed. We'll make our way up here to the north. And we'll start our turn back in now. Ready to copy. Ready to copy.
Line is as follows. 1, 2, 3, NA. 100 feet MSL. Column of ground units. Charlie, Sierra, 5, 3, 9, 2, 6, 7, 6, 4. Marked by infrared pointer. 0. Southeast 500 meters. Troops in contact. Egress north. Advise when ready for remarks and further talk on.
Okay, so this is going to be an IR pointer attack, so let's tell him we're ready for remarks now. Say remarks.
Use GBU 38. Wind 270 at 3 meters per second.
Reading back.
Read back correct.
Okay, so
Report IP inbound.
we're using the same weapon this time. Just got to call IP inbound. A different target area. So if we look at that kneeboard again. Kneeboard. You can see slightly different coordinates there in line 6, the second target. And once again, I've put them in a steer point 2. So there's steer point 2. Let's waypoint designate that area. Get rid of the kneeboard. 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 And with the laser pointer, we're going to bring up the NVGs. And we'll have a look at the target area. Now we'll get him to sparkle the target for us. So let's call IP inbound. IP inbound.
Uzi 3, continue.
Okay. Let's ask him to sparkle. Sparkle.
Sparkle.
And you can see that laser ray there. Now we can ask him to snake if you want a better idea where it is. Snake.
Snake.
And you can see it moving around there. And we'll ask him to bring it steady again. Steady.
Steady.
Okay, it's steady. And we'll bring the pod down to have a look at that target area. So make sure the pod is sensor of interest. Which it is. And bring that pod down into that clearing. If we have a zoom in there, there's our vehicles. So let's designate them ourselves. Alright, we've got them designated. And just step out a little bit from the target and make our run. Okay, turn back in and we should have parameters on the weapon. We've got good coordinates fed to it, and let's see how we go. Telling we're in from the south.
Cleared hot.
Okay, we are cleared hot. We have parameters. We're in the zone. Weapon looks pretty good. Weapon distance away. And coming back out to the north.
Shift. Uzi 3, target destroyed. Uzi 3, no further tasking available. Good job, you may depart.
Okay, we're cleared to depart, and as you can see, you shouldn't park all your vehicles in a row like that. You heard him say shift. He was shifting the laser to the next vehicle, so if the vehicles were widely spread, he would have automatically shift the pointer, or the IR pointer, to the next target for us. So there we are. There's a look at using the laser designation with JTAC, using the IR pointer, and in daylight we had a look at using the white phosphorus smoke. Anyway, hope you enjoyed watching it. Thanks for watching.